The UK state pension, the UK's biggest Ponzi scheme that's going to collapse by 2032. My name's Spencer Thompson, time and wealth creator, and I'm going to give you way more information than I've already done on company and private pensions, but these series of videos is talking all about the state pension, which is a much bigger problem than what I've previously been talking about. Whoa, hold on a second, Spencer. You called the UK pension scheme a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes are illegal. They are, unless it's the government that runs it. Wow, that's controversial, Spencer. I know it is. You go and Google what a Ponzi scheme is, and let me describe how state pension is paid today. You see, when I became a financial advisor, did my examinations when I was 20, I found out that state pension is funded by today's national insurance contributions. So the national insurance contributions that I pay today pays the pensioners of today. Learned that 30 years ago. Okay, but I then realised, because it didn't take me long, I was like, well, but people are living longer. Yeah, and there was the thing before my generation called the baby boomer generation. I'm a Gen X, the next generation is Gen Y. Obviously, when I was at that point, there was no Gen Y, it was just Gen X. And you're like, but if these people, there was lots more of them being born, there's less of us being born, and probably the generation after that's probably going to be less as well, and people are living longer, state pension is going to be a major liability on the purse string of the state. Correct. And that's why, and you can go and find this for yourself, again, go and do your own research. Many newspaper articles out there confirm that by 2032, which is the same year that every single baby boomer will then be in receipt of state pension, by 2032, the whole thing will collapse under the current contributions that are paid into state pensions. Because 1 in every 5 people in the UK will be a state pensioner. Oh. So there's not enough people paying in because there's too many people paying out? Yes. That's a problem. Correct. I seen that 30 years ago. Now, you're thinking, well, governments are going to have to do something about it. Well, the governments in the past kind of have a little bit, because if you think about it, originally when I started my working career, ladies retired at 60, men at 65. For any one Gen X, you're going to be 67 or 68 before you get state pension, regardless if you're a male or a female. No, that's true. That's true. But that still hasn't resolved the problem, because by 2032, it's still going to have insufficient funds going in. So what's any government going to have to do about it? Now, forget politics as to which party it is in power, because they all have the same challenge. It doesn't matter which colour they are, okay? So here's some options that I've thought about. Well, they could push state pension even further, 70, 75, 80. Well, it's not very popular, but yeah. But that won't stop the people that are already in state pension continuing to receive it. So that's a problem. Well, okay, that's probably, they probably have to do a bit of that, but that's not going to solve the problem. Yeah, okay. Well, they could put up the national insurance contributions of all those people who are still working and already struggling with the cost of living crisis. That won't go down very popular either. Yep, they might do that. Who knows? No, they don't even know yet. Okay, they don't even know yet. Okay, cool. Or they could just say, we'll pay state pensioners less money. We'll just be honest with the whole public and say, listen, we don't have enough money to pay you all out, so we're going to bring down the amount you get paid every month. Okay. 2014, Pensions Act, 2014. They reclassified pensions and reclassified it and called it a benefit. Can you see where I'm going with that? Benefits are means tested more often than not. At the moment, it's not. But you can see how future governments might turn around and say, we will means test it. So here's the conundrum. For anyone, especially my generation, Generation X, because you're just behind the baby boomers and it's not that far away. Still feels like a long time away, but it's not actually that far away, okay? You're closer to retirement than you are the start of your working career. I know, it's unbelievable. You've got two choices, this is the way I kind of see it. have 0 for retirement provisions. Don't really recommend that because, well, let's be honest, even if you get full state pension, it's not even £1,000 a month. Can you live off that? You can maybe survive on that. I don't think you can really live on that, to be honest. And why have you worked your entire working career to just have an existence rather than a life? I mean, when I started my career, I thought, great, you work hard, you put money aside, you get to later years in life and you get to have all this money and time to do everything that you want to do. Well, you ain't going to do that if you have no provisions. Or you put something, you're sensible, you put money aside, but if I'm sensible and put money aside, they might just take it back anyway. So you've got to get to a position, and this is my humble opinion, you've got to get to a position of going, it doesn't matter if I don't get my state pension because I'm going to make sure I've got enough income in retirement to come through regardless of that. Now, I made that decision all those years ago and you go, good for you, Spencer. I was fortunate to have an amazing company pension scheme, which, you know, is done all right for itself. But 20 years ago I went self-employed. So I knew I needed to do something different. That's why I got involved in a system that guarantees a regular ongoing income for work that I've done in the past. Regular income for doing things in the past, a bit like an author or a rock star. You go, yeah, they did something in the past and they get paid. The difference is that I've not had to wait until I'm 67 before I'm in receipt of that. You see, I never ever want to be reliant upon any government of any colour. Doesn't matter which one. Never wanted to receive any benefits from the government. I've paid in. I have never received any extra benefits from the government. Occasionally I've had to use the NHS, but very occasionally. Now you might go, that's good for you. Not everyone's like you. I get that. But here's the reality. If you rely upon others, you're at the behest of them. Whatever the wind blows at that point in time, you've got zero control over that. That certainly happened to me in 2007 when I was a mortgage broker and the bank stopped lending money and I lost 90% of my income every month until those banks sorted themselves out. I didn't realise I was beholden to them. I never thought that could possibly happen. The banks would stop lending money because people always buy houses. Yeah, it did. And I can see exactly the same for retirement. So the reason I'm telling you this, and the series of videos where I'll give you way more information about how the state pension started, what levels it was at, much more really interesting information. I suppose I'm really saying to you is this. You need to basically get a checkup from the neck up, as we often call it. You need to understand where you are and where you're going and what lifestyle that you want. Now, I do have a free guide, the Retirement Reality Check, that you can get if you want that. Put in Retirement Reality Check and we'll get you the link and you can have a look at that. Obviously, you can speak to an independent financial advisor as well. They can give you some guidance. But you need to know where you want to be and where you are. And pension provisions isn't the only way of securing retirement. There are many alternative ways. It can be investments, it could be property, it could be what I'm doing, it could be whatever it is, okay? But if you don't make provisions, you can't seriously turn around and say, that's not fair. Because if you didn't know, I would agree. Now you do know. Now you have to make a conscious decision to take control of your future. Because hopefully, golden years are just ahead of you. You'll have the time freedom and the money freedom to enjoy everything you've worked so hard for. So remember, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and you'll see the series of videos that come in. Maybe watch some of the ones that have been done in the past. Lots more information to share with you. Hope you have a good day. Hope you found it informative and you take care. Bye-bye.